All right, so this is what I built, and it is dirty. All right, so I got a big problem with the pollen around here. This only happens in the spring, but I plan on putting the solar array right here, so I'm gonna have a nice little patio area that's gonna be under the roof of the solar panels. They'll all be waterproofed. It's gonna look sci-fi. I'm gonna have the wires going certain ways. Who knows what I'm gonna do. It's gonna look good. So I'll have it to where it can fold down flat to the house for storm weather like this. We're in a level 5 tornado watch, but I can fold it into the house. I can wash the panels. I'll have like a squeegee and a water hose, pretty easy. Spray them off and wash it, and then I can put it up. And the morning sun, when the sun gets closest to me, it'll be right past this tree, and that's where I'm going to be making power. And then so about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, I'm going to want to shift the panels to the evening sun. So I want the panels to have a morning sun and an evening sun mode, just 2 modes. I'm not going to track the sun, I'm going to have 2 modes, 1, 2. So there's going to be a motor actuation system, there's going to be some kind of supports. I'm not sure if I'm going to go back to the house or to the ground. But I already have the motors, they're just old hospital bed motors for lifting you up when you're in a hospital bed. Pretty powerful stuff. So they just need to go A and B mode. And that's going to give me about 6 hours of producing power, maybe 7. Who knows? And then that's going to run power into this golf cart right here. I have 2 batteries in the house. 2 batteries run the house just fine. But when these golf carts aren't being used, I can plug them into the solar system and they'll either charge with the solar panels or they will discharge all night long and run just like they're part of the solar power system. Just a battery, instead of putting it in the attic, I have it in the golf cart. I'm going to park it right next to the house. It's going to plug in just like any other one would plug in, only it's going to have full reverse capability to the house. And it's going to have thick wires, very good connection. And another idea I have is to actually wire a bunch of the house up in 48 volt. That's going to take me a lot of time to figure out. Fans, lights, a bunch of stuff, 48 volt. No inverters from 48 volt to 110 and then back down to usually 12 volt. Most TVs are 12 volt. So it's kind of crazy. It doesn't make any sense. I'm going to fix that. This is 1 solar battery. I could put 2 in there anytime I want. This runs 3 hours. I was off-roading. I got the video out. I got stuck in the sand pretty bad. Brought some of it with me. Took me a while to get out. But that was 1 battery, 2 hours of riding. And I still had 40% left from 100 to 40. So I think I can get 3 hours out of it like this. If I put a second battery in there, at least 6 hours. Then I'm going to be able to run lights, radios, that kind of stuff. And it'll fit in there just fine. So instead of 70 pounds, it'll be 140 pounds versus the original 450 pounds of lead acid batteries. This thing is so much lighter because of that. And it's got these little itty bitty skinny tires too. I'm gonna put big wide tires on it. It deserves it. So anyways, the point of this video is the other thing that I'm doing right now, which is kind of cool. This is my little science experiment. It's sitting at 69 degrees. And you can look if you want, it's 69 degrees. And I'm gonna turn on this little thing that I guess is a cold plunge. That's probably what it is. If my math is right, within an hour or 2 or 3, this should be freezing cold. Refrigerator level's cold, so it should be a cold plunge. And there's no computers involved in this. All this is a compressor, fan, radiator, which you can actually make this radiator at anything. An automotive radiator would work just fine. It just needs to be able to handle the pressures. So you have a radiator and a fan here, you have a compressor, and then here you have a radiator coil from the inside. They took the whole computer, the fan, all that out. So you can run this in hot or cold mode. The other day I ran this in hot mode. I got it up to 135 degrees. It took me 3 hours to do that. And it sat at 135 degrees for 2 hours straight. It hit 135 and stopped, which is pretty cool. Right now it's in cold mode, so air conditioning mode, which is actually how this system is the most efficient because one line is bigger than the other. So because of that, it's a reversing system. When it's in heat mode, it's using the big line as a small line and the small line as the big line. and it's very inefficient. Very, very inefficient. But this is how it's most efficient, is cold. So I imagine this coil right here is going to get as cold as it possibly can, and knowing what I know about thermodynamics in water, and this coil, and Freon, I could use other things like, I believe, compressed liquid CO2, more efficient than water, less corrosive, but this is all I have. I don't have the money for all that crap. So this will chill out the water, and the water is going to suck the heat out of the Freon. It's almost magical how good it is at sucking heat out of the Freon. So the Freon's going to come in through this high pressure line, go through this whole radiator, and turn into a low pressure while it's going through it. And during that gas exchange, it's going to be naturally low temperature. It's what happens with pressure. If you pressurize something, it heats up. If you relieve that pressure, it cools down. So this is relieving that pressure, controlled though. So this gas is going to be naturally cold, but the water is just going to suck any bit of heat it can out of this coil. And then it's going to heat itself up, and on the other end, you've got this thing blowing out heat and using air to cool. Holy shit. I just changed my invention completely. It needs water on both sides. It needs why would I use the most efficient thing ever to transfer heat, water, on one side and air on the other? Why not water on both sides? So if I have a hot water tank and a cold water tank, I mean, this is kind of incredible. I already ordered a Stirling generator, so when that comes, you need a hot side and a cold side. And I plan on putting these two pipes right here, one hot, one cold. And I'm going to see if it'll run the Stirling generator just from that temperature differential. But imagine if you had a tank of water that you can get one tank up to 135 degrees and one tank down to 30 degrees, and you'll have two hot water tanks basically in your house run by one AC compressor. And then how do you cool your rooms? You do it just like they used to do it. Water circulating through your house in a loop, and it runs through a radiator, and then you have a fan attached to that radiator. So now you have a very efficient way of transferring heat or cooling anytime you want. All you have to do is change the temperature of the water in the loop on the radiators, and you can turn valves so you can turn some radiators on and off. So you're using water or compressed liquid CO2, which is, it would also solve our CO2 problem, because we would compress it, turn it into a gas, and put it into AC systems all over the planet. It's the best thing. It is far more efficient than water, almost twice, 3 times as efficient. And we need to get it out of the air anyways. Let's put it into every air conditioning system on the planet. So we'll have compressed water, and then the compressed CO2 will transfer its energy over to a water source. So you'll have, it'll be more complex, but it'll be worth it. You'll have a hot tank and you'll have a cold tank. And then you can run your Stirling generator to produce a little bit of energy out of that. And then anytime you want hot water, it's easy. You just tap into your hot water anytime you want. And cold water, I don't know what you're going to do with it. I mean, you could still use it as cold. It's going to be freezing cold. You know, it'd be a great idea is why not run your refrigerators on the cold water? Same exact idea as your AC, only in your refrigerator. Cold water loop. Some kind of cold water fan loop. Highly efficient. I think I can build that. That's interesting. That makes me want to stop this whole experiment and rebuild it, but I'm not. I'm going to do the cold plunge. That's what I'm wired for. And I kind of think I want to do ice bucket challenge too with this, right? How long has it been since anybody's done an ice bucket challenge? What if I ran this crane and dumped all this water, freezing cold with ice? Come on, China, you haven't talked the whole time.
I mean, wouldn't that hurt hitting you from the sky?
I can do it right over top of your head. It'll be like winning a football match, you know, when they dump the bucket.
The cooler, yeah.
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 Have you ever did that? Did you ever do it?
I never did it. Mm-mm.
Well, anyways, I'm going to make this cold. I'm going to see what it can do. But, I mean, as I'm talking about it, I'm thinking about it. this whole system would be 100 times more efficient if it had 2 water tanks. Having air involved, this air is it's barely doing anything, and you're subject to the air temperatures. Water sits at a more neutral temperature all the time. It's very good at dissipating its temperature.
Finish doing this and then try it the other way next.
I'm gonna jump in there in 2 hours. I don't know. You gonna jump in?
No. All right, that's a wrap, right?
I mean, it's pretty cool. You want to go for a ride on the golf cart real quick before the storm hits?
Sure.
You can just attach it right there and keep it filming. Come on, don't hit stop. Oh, this is cool. Check this out. I designed this to where I'm going to put the thing back here, and if you drive off, it's just going to unplug. So if you're plugged in and you forget about it and you just drive off, it's just going to, because the plug's going to be sitting at the back, you know?
Okay.
So you're going to automatically unplug. You want to drive?
I don't know. I'm good. Ride.
Yeah, you drive.
Okay. I'm not going to drive like a maniac.
No, you don't have to drive like a maniac. Golf cart. It's actually a UTV though. They definitely don't hit the gas hard. That will be bad. You'll fly off. It's very powerful. Don't be scared of it though. Without the back, it kind of feels weird. You gotta almost do an ab exercise while driving it. And I kind of feel like it adds to the adrenaline.
It's kind of chilly out here.
Is it? You want to
All right.
jacket? Oh wait, I'm sorry. I forgot I gotta turn it on. Can you pop your butt up 1 second? Is this on? I don't have it wired up right yet. It's get tow rigged. But yeah, you got to use your abs to drive on this thing. It kind of makes it exciting because, I mean, right now, if you hit the gas too hard, I have nothing to hold on. I'll just die. But you can hold on to the steering wheel. And I mean, it's intense. Like, you really got to hold on to the steering wheel. But if you hit the gas right now, I'm just rolling off the back. I got nothing to hold on.
I'm not going to drive like a crazy person like I said. I'm not going too fast.
Yeah, don't do that. But it doesn't go too fast. It maxes out at about 25. Probably too. I can make it go faster.
It feels like I'm sitting in a big truck, really.
It's so high.
It's really tall.
Especially compared to Whiplash. I'm so used to Whiplash being like on the ground. Yeah, this thing goes high. The steering is so much better too. So Whiplash, I was gonna have to do like $100 worth of work on the steering. This steering it's a little loose, but it's much tighter than Whiplash. So that's good. Save money in that.
It's like it's about to rain.
Oh yeah, level 5 hurricane.
Not hurricane. You think you're in Florida?
Yeah. I mean, in Florida, when we had the hurricanes hitting us all the time, they always said the hurricane's not what does the damage, it's the tornado that does the damage. I don't know, I never got a tornado anywhere near me. I did have my roof ripped off. That was about the 150 mile an hour winds. That was pretty crazy.
Oh, I want to hit that dog.
Yeah, he almost ate it the other day. Yeah, my whole roof ripped off. It was crazy, like looking up into the eye of the hurricane. I think it was Andrew who ripped our roof right off. All we saw was like roof rafters and a hurricane. And we were like using buckets to get the water out of the house. It was crazy. Like, that's the kind of way to get. Jody wants to get a John on it. Oh,
Speed up.
that's a lake boat, right? It's a wide body.
Looks like everything's starting to move.
That thing would do terrible in the ocean in Florida. That thing around here, all the lakes around here, it's perfect. Isn't this nice though? So compared to the side-by-side or even the diesel you got a manual transmission, you got a clutch, You gotta shift, you gotta go between gears, it's slow and loud.
This is much quieter than the side by side.
And I have to go to the gas station all the time for both the Kawasaki and the dump truck. And this thing, no, it charges up anywhere you are. I have the charger, and I'll have it attached onto the body permanently. So like if you ever run out of gas, you just go to somebody and be like, hey, can I borrow an extension cord for a minute? And you just plug it in, and you're good to go.
You should just sell it side by side.
You know, there's a 6-seater golf cart for sale down right around the corner. I thought about it turning it into a golf cart. I mean, wouldn't that be cool? A 4-seater golf cart. This thing is super capable of off-road. If you want to do a little bit off-road, we won't say it, but we'll stand on a little ups and downs. I'd like to see what you do. I'll hold on tight.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it.
I need a hand so good.
I thought you were going to put a roof on it.
Well, I was working on it, but apparently this isn't it's not an easy go, so it's got a wider frame. And it's got a beefier suspension. I don't even know what this thing is at all. And the bin, I can look at the bin. No idea what it is. All it says is UTD on the side. And
The brakes are?
yeah, it's got 4-wheel brakes, 4-wheel hydraulic brakes. I climbed right up that hill. I can go all through that run.
Oh my gosh. That would be kind of
You're gonna get stuck going this way. It's all blocked off. Just do the loop and then go off the cliff.
In the mud?
Off the cliff. No, don't go in the mud. You'll get dirty.
No, I don't.
I would love to go in the mud with you, but you will get dirty. It slings rooster tails of mud behind it. It's kind of crazy. You can go on the dry trail right there. See? Go down right here. Nice and slow. There you go. Stay to the right. Perfect. Stay to the right. There you go. Now do a wide turn and then to the right. Go to the right. There's no reverse, so you kind of hurt your corner in us right now. It's alright, I'll push this backwards.
I think you're going to roll.
Just turn a little bit. Yeah, there you go. It's easy to push backwards. There you go. It's light. But by taking reverse out, by taking reverse out, I cut the wires in half. How much wires, how many switches, how much amperage it uses. Right now it doesn't use any amperage when you're not using it at all. So you don't even need an ignition switch. You can leave it completely on all the time. It won't use any power.
I don't want to do that.
Go straight off the cliff. By that little bush is the hardest part to the right. Hard right.
Oh, like right here?
Yeah, it's like
Oh my
straight
gosh,
down.
I'm
Just
scared.
hold the brakes. Don't hit the gas. Don't hit the gas. No. No. Just hold the brakes going down. There you go. Just ride it out. Woo-hoo! Good job. You did it. I was scared. You looked like you were about to stomp the gas going down.
Well, I might have if you didn't say something.
I saw your foot go. You were about to stand up on the gas. That would have hurt both of us. Go to the right. Go to the right. Come on, go right here. So you can go down and back up anywhere you want. And you can go through the little bit of mud. You won't get dirty. Don't go too deep or it'll sling mud everywhere.
I'm just going to make the loop. Sorry.
I have no handle.
You definitely need a handle over there.
And look, this is a fake handle. It just pops right off. It's crazy. I need to get a much stronger cup holder. It pops off just randomly going down the road.
Do you want to start the grill?
Oh yeah. Let's go. Put it in. Turn it over. Here, I'll put you in reverse. It's just so easy. Why double the wiring and then way increase how much power it uses? I don't know, this is an old school system. This one has a newer system in it. It's got a much bigger inverter. That one's a 500 amp inverter. This is a 1000 amp inverter. This is capable of powering 2 motors. The motor in that golf cart originally came from this buggy. So that massive thing that was pulling wheelies all over town belongs in here, and it can do that with all 4 wheels because it's got 2 motors. So think like how fast a Tesla is. Imagine me putting 2 batteries in here and just maxing this thing out.
Yeah, that's a lot of power.
The crazy thing though, unfortunately,
Does that wheelchair work?
yeah, no, got motors in it. When I was a
Do you have
kid,
any more pellets?
when I was like 13 years old, I took a motor off one of those and put it on a bicycle. And I was zooming around on a little electric bike. That was way back in the day. But it's got 2 good motors. It has 2 good batteries. It's got a comfortable seat. Anytime you want to sit in it, it's a great seat. And it's easy to move around. So that's also awesome. But one of these days, I'm going to get one of those that actually runs, and I'm going to use it as a forklift.
Do you have any more pellets?
Is it out?
I mean, there's some, but it's going to need more.
If it's not empty, don't worry about it.
Well, it's probably like that.
All you have to do is splash it. It only needs about 2 cups of wood chips. You'll be alright. But there is some in the shed, but we don't have to worry about it. But anyways, this is a much more powerful inverter. And this is, look how sturdy this is. With a winch up front. One of the problems I'm gonna have is that the winch is a 12-volt winch. It would be nice if there was like a 48-volt winch. I mean, I know that doesn't make any sense to you. You don't know that language, but voltage, you can make smaller wires flow more energy with a higher voltage. That's as simple as I can make it.
Okay.
If I was running this thing on 110 volts, then I can make it go way faster with smaller wires. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why a lot of them go to AC now.
But that one's like gone, right? Done
What?
with that one.
Huh?
That one's like gone, right? Like
Gone? What do you mean?
not fixable unless you get another controller.
This? Oh, no. Actually, I've already tested this controller. I just got the manual, but I have my power probe and I wired up the only things I knew on it. On the controller, it has F, A, and AF. And I'm like, I don't know what any of those are, and I'm not going to short it out figuring out what they are, you know. But it has battery positive and battery negative. Everybody knows that. That's universal language. So I connected battery positive, battery negative. I put my power probe on it, hit the gas, and I saw voltages moving. So I think this thing is going to run. And what's cool about this, now that I'm done with the jargon, what's cool about this is it has a rear brake only and a front motor only. So what this is going to do is front digs all over the place. I'm going to be holding the back brake and then stomping the gas at the front at the same time and just peeling wheels all over the place. And it's going to be like, it's going to be the most insanely fun toy. I'm going to start popping all these tires that are bald and rotten. I'm going to start popping them one after the other with this machine. I'm going to put on shows. I don't know, we'll do like hay rides. And I'll bring this on the hayride and just have it just burning tires in the front whenever we feel like it. Like choo choo, just burn the front tire. I mean, it's just the front motor. In most 4-wheel drives, the front drive is just like a helper. It's not the only thing. But in this thing, the front wheel drive is just fine as the only thing. It doesn't
For me,
care.
riding relaxed. Like you don't have to go fast or pop wheelies or do all that.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
just
but you're a lot cooler if you do.
slow and steady and.
That's fine. We'll do slow and steady with the hay rides, and then we'll pull up and we'll be like, choo choo. We'll hold the brake and the gas at the same time and just sit there and burn the front tires until the rest of the kids get on. I don't know. It seems like a fun thing to do. And you can switch it all over the place. Front, rear, anyways. One of the other good things about this controller, and all newer controllers have the same feature, you don't have to have a forward and reverse switch. This thing had an extra switch that was a forward and an extra switch that was a reverse. This doesn't have that. It's just smart enough to know I want to put this kind of power in for forward and this kind of power in for reverse. So it automatically switches. So that was a huge invention when they did that through the years. Yeah. So huge power loss, just gone. This thing is actually sitting, it's on right now. It's ready to run. All I have to do is get the instruction manual out that they emailed me and wire up 3 wires. That's it. 3 or 4 wires.
Okay.
Then we can drive this.
That's cool. I'm gonna get the chicken ready, okay?
What?
The chicken.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
I think your camera's still going.
That'll be alright.